The Waikato River, starting from the giant reservoir of Lake Taupo, carves its way through our region to the sea at Port Waikato. On its way, it helps shape and define our landscape and drives our agricultural, tourism and electricity generating industries. It's a venue for many of our water-based sport and recreation activities, including swimming, fishing, boating, kayaking and rowing. For Waikato Māori, it is a tupuna, ancestor, a taunga, treasure, and the Māori, life force of generations. The Waikato is New Zealand's most industrialised river. In the past it was a major transport route, and for many years factories, farms, freezing works and sewage plants discharged their waste straight into the river. This isn't allowed to happen anymore. These days the biggest threats to the river come from diffuse pollution, seepage and runoff from rural and urban areas. As a community we are working to maintain and enhance the health of this mighty river. So what is the story of the Waikato River? What do we know about its makeup and the effects our actions are having on it? To tell the story of the Waikato River, we split into two big sections. The section between Taupo and Hamilton, and the section from Hamilton to the mouth of the river at Port Waikato. The river is quite different in these two sections. Between Taupo and Hamilton there are a series of hydroelectric dams. They hold the water back in hydro lakes from Lake Ohakuri all the way down to Lake Karapiro. Between Hamilton and Port Waikato, the river is unimpounded. The river flows straight to the sea with no dams or reservoirs. The Waipa River joins the main stream of the Waikato River at Naruawahia. As we travel the length of the river from Lake Taupo to Port Waikato, we see major changes occur in its appearance. It's important we understand what causes these changes.
The big changes that we see between Lake Taupo and Port Waikato, changes in the appearance of the river. When the water leaves Lake Taupo, it's clear and blue. By the time it gets here in Hamilton, it's green and often quite murky. But by the time you get to the sea, Port Waikato, it's very murky and it's brown and muddy. And that's the most dramatic change that I think that people are aware of. We've gone from clear blue water to brown muddy water. I find it useful to identify three different types of contaminants that we have in rivers in general and in the Waikato River in particular. The first one is bacteria. Bacteria, particularly the bacteria that come from our guts and the guts of any warm-blooded animal and contaminate the water. A lot of people know about or have heard about E. coli. If there's too much bacteria in the water, it's not safe to swim. So there's bacteria. There's also sediment. Right? People know sediment makes the water look muddy, fine, silty, sandy stuff. Got a lot of that, the water will look brown and muddy. Now the other one that people don't know quite so much about is what we call nutrients. They're the plant nutrients, nitrogen and phosphorus. These are chemicals that are out there in the environment and naturally in all water bodies they're there at certain levels. Our activities add to the levels of nitrogen and phosphorus in water bodies. For example, if we have a discharge of wastewater from a sewage treatment plant into a river, it's bound to be adding nitrogen and phosphorus. But probably the main source of nitrogen and phosphorus that we're concerned about in the catchment of the Waikato River is the nitrogen and phosphorus that comes off the land, and in particular off the land that we've developed for farming. This is a load of nitrogen and phosphorus that wasn't there in the past, and as farming becomes more intensive, the loads of nitrogen and phosphorus to the river increase. So, bacteria, sediment and nutrients. And in different parts of the Waikato River, those different contaminants are more or less important.